Hello and welcome to this very special introduction episode. I thought I'd do something a little bit more in depth before you see the stream tonight for 4-color goodness dinos. Man, this is pretty sweet. Some nasty turns and very fast, very ugly turns to say the least. Potentially coming out here. Ooh, I think I might be onto something here. I don't know, but it is a lot of fun at the very least. As always, got to start with the beginning and the one white card here, Kinjalli's Collar. Now, for me, this is a replacement to Otepec Huntmaster, both reducing dinosaur spells we cast cost one less. Haste, unfortunately, we do lose that potential from Otepec Huntmaster, but Kinjalli's Collar costing one. It is nice having this as a fantastic turn one play, and it does have 3 toughness, so it will survive a hit from Rotting Raptor at later turns. Unless, of course, we had a Great Henge out, Otepec Huntmaster would survive with the 1/1 counter that's put on it. And, well, speaking of Great Henge, that is a key linchpin, a key point to this deck, but we'll get to that in a little bit. Going with the rest of the creatures, Marauding Raptor, fantastic stuff. Now, especially if we can pair it with Kinjalli's Collar, turn 1, Marauding Raptor, turn 2. So now dinosaurs and, well, just dinosaurs are sitting at 2 reduction. We still have a second land that we played on turn 2, which means we could go turn 2 Rotting Regisaur for 1 black. Man, that is just ugly stuff. But also potentially turn 2 Death Gorge. We might be able to go turn 2 Rampaging Ferocidon as well. But if we can get turn 2 Rotting Regisaur, that is the secret. Because turn 3 Rotting Regisaur, 7 power, reducing Great Henge to 2 green. Oh, that would just be a fantastic thing to go turn 2, tap it, play something else nasty, potentially Shifting Ceratops, but really any creature would just be lovely. Drawing cards, I think if we got the Great Henge followed up by another creature at that point, having Kinjalli's Collar, Rotting Regisaur, creature gaining life, it would be pretty hard for the opponent to recover from that. So the potential for a really nasty, fantastic start featuring the Great Henge, but also Kinjalli's Collar, Marauding Raptor, fantastic reduction there. Oh boy, I'm excited, definitely. Death Gorge, something at 3, something else that we can play, helping us potentially against those Is It Phoenix decks that, I mean, there's a pretty good chance we'll face it tonight, coming up. But certainly, something else at 3. Shifting Ceratops, as always, to help against the control matchups. Charging Monstrosaur. Now, I may or may not change this by the time you see the stream, but something that can benefit from a lot of cost reduction. It only requires 1 red, so if we get a couple Kinjalli's Collars, maybe a couple Marauding Raptor, could potentially cast Charging Monstrosaur for 2. Maybe even for just a single red, which would be absolutely fantastic. Regisaur Alpha, as always, in a deck like this, it is lovely, lovely stuff. Carnage, a headache for any control deck. Galta, we got to have at least some of the queen. Could up it to 2, but I think with all the potential card draw from the Great Henge, I mean, it's basically all creatures. We're hoping and hinging on getting the Great Henge out. Going to be drawing a lot of stuff, so there's pretty good chance hopefully that we see Galta. The mana base though can get a little interesting, especially with 4-color and something like Great Henge that does require 2 green. That can be a little tough building the mana base for something like that, but since we are basically all creatures, I did mention in the stream just the previous night about Ancient Ziggurat. If you're in all creatures, this may be something to consider. Tap, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast a creature spell. So that's certainly what we want to be doing. Having turn 1 white or more stuff for turn 1 white for Kinjalli's Collar, fantastic, but also something that isn't messing up turns down the line for a potential Rotting Regisaur, Death Gorge, Charging Monstrosaur. Just, it does the trick, definitely. And then also for a turn 1 white, we've got Temple Garden. So hopefully 8 sources, 8 potential ways to get that turn 1 white for Kinjalli's Collar does the trick. But I think I may up that to a few more potential ways to do that. Scatter Groves, something else white. Stomping Ground, Sheltered Thicket. A lot of stuff you can see here is green sources. Definitely want to maximize the potential of casting that Great Henge early. Don't want to be screwed out of playing that thing. So that's why everything is green except for Ancient Ziggurat. I think that's going to do the trick. Definitely. Ancient Ziggurat with the sources of red there, sources of white. I think things should be quite smooth, to say the least. Hopefully. Looks pretty good so far, but like I said, I may tweak things. By the time you're seeing the stream, it might look a little different, which of course I'll always go over any changes. Rampaging Ferocidon now does stop us gaining life from the Great Henge, but that's not the worst drawback in the world. Definitely have to have Rampaging in there at some point. It did do the trick against Celestia Angels there, which was pretty nice. Always helps out against something life gain related. Ripjaw, fantastic. Oh, I do have a 4th one. Okay, I didn't. Got to organize the sideboard here. But something special. Needletooth Raptor. Since it's all about creatures, Ancient Ziggurat, really painful if we're trying to cast something that's not a creature. Needletooth Raptor. Now, whenever it's dealt damage, deal 5 damage to target creature and opponent controls. 5 damage, I would imagine, takes out most things, but if we have a Great Henge out, that Needletooth is going to survive a ping from Rotting Raptor. And if we get a second trigger of Enrage further down the line, or maybe that turn, man, we're going to be killing a lot of stuff at 5 damage. That's going to do the trick, hopefully. Blast Zone, it's a land. Helps us cast things, gets out of sticky situations. Yeah, that's about it. Now, you don't see Anger of the Gods, Blue Bear. I know you suggest having that in, but I'm going to leave it out for now since trying to focus on creatures. Lots of dinos as the main way to do stuff. Needletooth for removal, Ripjaw as always for card draw. Rampaging, shut down life gain. Lots of good stuff. Very, very exciting. Oh boy, it's going to be fun. So stay tuned. Make sure you keep an eye out for 4-color goodness, 4-color dinos. Oh my goodness. It's going to be fun. All right. See you next time.